Matthew David Fritz, and welcome to another IGTV episode where we go under the hood to look at the nuanced techniques of chords of a man music. Today we're going to be talking about tritones, or the Diabolus in musica, or the devil in music in Latin. So this tritone is a interval that got a really bad name. Why did it get that bad name? We're going to find out. A tritone, by definition, is an interval consisting of three adjacent whole tones. Without getting into too much technical detail, I'll just demonstrate a whole tone on this keyboard is a relationship like that. One whole tone. There's another whole tone. So, legend has it that in the medieval times, high clergy like to debate theological themes and consider them in light of practical things that they were doing. In terms of music, they considered that the Trinity should translate into music. And logic would have it that the perfection of the Trinity would be likened to a whole tone, very pleasing to the ears, you see. But what we have here in the scales that we use in Western music is a relationship where there are whole tones and there are also half tones. So this natural major scale consists of 5 whole tones and 2 half tones. There's a whole tone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there are 2 half tones. And because of where they're placed in our diatonic scale, when you strike the first two tones or have the first whole tone interval, it's very pleasing to the ears. The second one is also pleasing to the ears. There's our second whole tone interval. But when you try to extrapolate that into a third whole tone interval, we get something a little bit dissonant. It's not as pleasing as the other intervals. Why is that? Well, their theory was that the first whole tone represents the first of the Divine Trinity. And then the second whole tone, the second of the Divine Trinity. And then if you go to the third whole tone, something happened. What happened? The devil got in there, interjected himself, and ruined the perfection of the Divine Trinity. You see, it spoiled this beautiful thing. So there's the devil in music. So in actuality, that's an augmented fourth. We consider that an interval, an augmented fourth, or a diminished fifth. And we use this in our music sparingly because it is dissonant. I don't know if the devil is really in it. I doubt it, but it is rather ugly. So we use it in chords such as the diminished chord. This is a C major, and this is a C diminished. And you can see in between the first note I'm playing and the last note I'm playing is a tritone. An interval of 3 adjacent whole tones. 1, 2, 3. So the diminished chord is part of our Western modality. We do play diminished chords in our scales. And we also play 7 chords, which includes also, in between these 2 notes, a tritone, or the devil in music. And usually the 7 chord resolves back into a stable chord. So I'll show you an example of how we use it in our music. Recently in our release, If Arrows Fly, that's the album If Arrows Fly, there's a song called Don't Let the Sun Go Down. And this consists of a lot of tritones. I packed it full of tritones in the form of diminished chords. So it starts with an E diminished, and then it goes to E flat diminished, and then a D diminished, then resolves into a nice, pleasing C. And that's the initial motif. And there's variants of that motif. So there, I think it was 5 or 6 diminished chords all in a row. This is to give the song a little bit of a dark feel, but always resolving back to that very pleasing, stable tonic note and tonic chord, root chord. So it's there in a lot of our music. I'd suggest you go back and listen to your favorite song and consider, are there any dissonant tones in there? Is the devil in that music? If there's a diminished chord or a 7 chord, then yes, in fact, the devil is in that music. So I hope you enjoyed this. Anyway, tune in next time. We'll have another session, and we'll see you later.